How you doing? I'm Quantez Mansfield. I'm interviewing Camille Wilson today, the Director of Football Operations at North Carolina Central. How you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. So during a typical work day, describe what you have going on, what you have to deal with.
A typical work day. A typical work day does not exist in athletics. But I would say right before spring ball, right before anything, right now it's grind time and making sure that we have hotels solidified, making sure travel is all ready to go for the season. Any ongoing projects that we have, trying to figure all of that out, and then getting practices scheduled for you guys for spring ball. That's really what's going on right now, but the season is around the corner, so everything has to be ready.
Yep. And what skills or abilities do you think it takes to be in your position right now, or personal qualities?
Yeah, personal qualities, definitely you have to be approachable. You must be extremely detail-oriented. Relationships, that's what this business is being able to form relationships with anyone and everyone. It's huge. That's real, relationships, being organized, and just being a leader, being able to take charge. You got to be able to do that.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Then, how did you get into this field?
How did I get into this field? So growing up, my master's was in sport administration, where I got to be in student athlete development. So definitely doing a lot of programming, and I was fortunate enough to be able to work with 28 different teams. Gotcha. So I knew that I didn't want to work with 28 teams. I knew that that was not something I wanted to do. So I realized that I wanted to focus on one team and one team only, and I tried to figure out, okay, what would this one team be? And just knowing myself, knowing my personality, I realized that football was something that I'd be interested in. And I didn't know what exactly in football. Sure, you have player engagement, you have so many other opportunities in football, but I knew that I have a keen eye for details. I love planning. And so me just being a planner by trait, that's a huge piece of this, but also just being approachable and being relationship based, that's really kind of what led me to this, except really it was about me loving the game of football and me loving the culture of football. So that's really what brought me here.
Gotcha. That pretty much answers my next question. What preparation did you have? You said you worked with 28 different teams, football, stuff like that. What courses do you recommend throughout your college career? I know you've been in a few different places. Any specific course you recommend? Not even athletic related.
Honestly, my favorite course, and I think the course that I rely on still to this day, was a negotiations course, which was through School of Business. But I think that was probably I use that every single day. You have to be able to negotiate in this job. We're dealing with a travel party of about 120. So trying to get a hotel and trying to get prices down and food for everyone, it's tough, but so being able to negotiate, but not even just that. Salaries, you're negotiating, you're always negotiating. So I think that's a big keen thing for me. I took a sport admin class. That was awesome just because it kind of opened my eyes to so many different issues that were going on in athletics. But I think that you really just kind of have to be hands-on to truly understand what it is that you want to do, but for sure, negotiations.
Got you. And is there any experiences you recommend, paid or unpaid, that kind of gets you introduced to this field, or some background, stuff you can bring into this field?
Experiences, definitely just shadowing people. I think that's what I started as, is I just wanted to shadow to see the previous director of football operations, what he did, what this was all about, and just talking to people, networking, trying to understand what exactly I like, what I don't like, so that I can make this my own. Shadowing is for sure just networking. Honestly, athletics is really just about who you know.
Gotcha. And then how rapidly do you think this field is growing every day?
Oh,
pretty fast.
Yeah, super fast. Everybody's adding operations departments and adding more personnel in football. These staffs are getting crazy big. So I mean, I guess it's a good thing though.
Yeah. And then how would you describe future prospects in this field? Like, what would be your ideal, like, maybe like a GA you have, not a GA, but like a shadow you would have? Like, what would you want in them?
Someone that is self-motivated and doesn't need me to hold their hand through everything. Someone that's definitely a go-getter, ready to, put in these long hours, because they're definitely long, but someone that's going to, take every shot that's thrown at them, and understanding that people make mistakes and learning from their mistakes. I mean, that's part of it, but just having somebody that's organized that's a big piece, just because we're dealing with a lot of different stuff. And so you send the wrong email, that's not just, oh, okay, you send the wrong email, you send the wrong name. That's my name as well. So making sure that someone is on top of their stuff and they're actually paying attention and they want this.
Gotcha. My next question was the trends of this career field. Like, how would you describe them? What you just said is growing every day, pretty much, getting bigger every day. So,
I definitely see the trends of this not just being travel, because I think that when people hear operations, a lot of times you go straight to travel, like, oh, that's what their sole focus is on. Except that's not what this. It's not what this field is anymore. Operations is anything as far as, like, you have the development side of this where it's life after football. You have personnel side, which is scouting and helping out with recruiting. There's just so many different branches now that it didn't always used to be this way, but now that's where we're headed.
Gotcha. And like, what are some implications you might see in this field with it being with it growing up every day? Like, not growing up, but getting bigger every day. Maybe more competitive, or less spots, or actually more spots maybe.
I think that more spots, even though it's a great thing that we're creating new opportunities for people, it also takes away from other sports. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's a huge thing, is, continuing to have equitable treatment for all sports and not just one, and being able to, across the board, show that you truly care about every single one of your sports and not just one more than the others. That's really, like, I think that that's something that you kind of see across the board, is just so many resources being poured into football, and you don't see those same resources being poured into other sports. So just trying to continue to keep the playing field level.
Got you. Now, do you recommend any professional association in this field?
I guess you can say the American Football Coaches Association. Granted, we're not coaches, we are far from coaches, but that's a huge piece in this, just because you're working with coaches. The coaches are who, that's who your closest relationships are with, and so being able to have those relationships is important. And so networking, understanding what issues they face is important. So definitely AFCA.
Gotcha. And so what are some suggestions you give somebody wanting into this field?
If you want it, go for it. It's a grind. It's definitely, it's not meant for the weak, it's meant for the tough. So definitely, if you want this, go for it. Don't let anyone, if somebody tells you no, don't let it stop you. Keep going, because you're gonna hear no all the time, but you just have to keep going and making sure that you do what you need to do. So taking care of business all the time and not getting stagnant. So keep it pushing.
Gotcha. Last question. What do you like most about your job?
What do I like most about my job? People. People makes everything. I love my guys, love you guys. Coaches are great. I get to meet so many people with so many relationships that I get to form. It's just fantastic. And so, y'all are what keep me going every day. So I would definitely say people and players for sure.
Gotcha. Well, that sounds good. I just want to appreciate you again for doing this interview with me. I'm Quantez Mansfield. Is this Camille Wilson?
This is Camille Wilson.
Gotcha. I appreciate everything.
No problem.